we all know the legacy media is lying to people. It's pulling the wool over people's eyes. It's pushing people to leftist falsehoods, and it's censoring people who want to take any kind of thought that goes in a different direction than the World Economic Forum and world powers want us to travel in. And so the reality that we face ourselves in this growingly tyrannical world is, well, what is a conservative to do? Well, there have been other conservatives who are already on the pathway to redemption, to redeeming America, and to taking back the media. And by the way, the very same tools and abilities that they use, you can use, and for free. And I'm going to explain that right now. The reality is every single person has access now who has a cell phone to the internet and to a series of publishing tools that transcend any time in history. The church, and roughly speaking, Western culture, was primarily built because of the printing press, the Gutenberg press, the very thing when you smatter ink on, old type and you pull a piece of paper across and then you're able to print a page. When that was invented, the Gutenberg press, it revolutionized the marketing world for the better. And the reality is that was used to not only further the causes of truth, that is specifically the very first thing that was printed on it was a Bible, King James Bible. But the reality is that this same publishing ability that transformed the West, like the printing press, is now in your own pocket at this moment. And the reality, or in your hand right now, and the reality is if you fully leverage this tool that's right in front of you that you're watching this on, whether it's a PC or whether it's right from your phone, you are able to take back the territory of the legacy media who wants to still use cable news and newspapers to do most of their publishing. And they have websites, and okay, fine. People publish on websites all the time. Those don't get seen. The reality is you have to leverage attention. Whoever leverages the attention of wherever the audiences are, wherever people are, can have the ability to influence those people. And if you have a business outcome, to sell them something, which is good if you want to make money and if you want to have a business. So that's all tied into this very thing, is not only do we want to take back America in ways that allow us to live freely and live in a way that God designed and live in a nation of laws and a nation of justice, true justice, not social justice, and a nation that cares about actually the things that make for ordered liberty, then we have to, as conservatives, take our phones out of our pockets and start to create content, create media, the very same media that you are used to seeing from all of your favorite people on the media. And guess what? We are not the first ones to be doing this. There are trailblazers, and I want to introduce you to some of them if you don't already know who these are. And you're probably surprised. You probably do know these people. So here's one of the trailblazers that I'd like to introduce you to. First and foremost is one of the top people that I recommend listening to is Tim Pool, and Timcast IRL is his podcast. And Tim Pool is, guess what this is on? X. X is the platform for people to take back media. And if you've not been paying attention, most of the political reshares that you get on other platforms, Facebook, things like that, you'd be surprised just how many of them are coming from X. And by the way, also Truth, if you're looking at conservative content. So the reality is this is where people are. Tim Pool actually primarily, he started as a journalist trying to cover various aspects. He actually started more on the liberal side, and as he started interviewing people and realizing, oh my goodness, the right is making too much sense. I have to start getting aware of that and making decisions. And now I would consider him someone who is definitely red-pilled. And if you're not familiar with that metaphor, if you've seen The Matrix, there's a classic scene where the mentor of the character offers the actual main character a choice. Do you want to take the blue pill? It looks green in this because of the coloring of the story. Do you want to take the blue pill and imagine your dream world is reality and just think that that's the world you're living in, but you're really living in a lie? Or do you want to take the red pill, find the truth, and actually find true meaning? That it's not in living a lie, it's in living truth, even if it's difficult. And so that's the situation that the character was in. The character, of course, chooses the red pill, as should we all. And now that it has gone into popular culture as a way to describe truth, as a way to describe those who are willing to seek truth over lies, and to actually wake up in the reality that we actually are in a world that wants us to take the blue pill. The media, the legacy media, wants us to keep taking their blue pill and believing that their truth is the only truth and their truth is the universal truth, funny enough. The expert truth, but when they don't actually have such claims, everybody has to speak the truth as they are seeing it, and the truth actually is objective. There is a reality that transcends what our particular perspectives are, and as we all together speak the truth, we get a clearer idea of what that is. And the way to examine truth fundamentally is to have the mind of God. And the Bible, if you're a Christian, understands, and if you're American, if you've studied anything about our founding fathers, they were very much influenced by Christianity, and very strong members of faith themselves. See Charlie Kirk's most recent video that's gone viral, talking about this. There is a truth to the reality of the world that is divine, that transcends our mere reality. And so that truth is the people who are wanting to take the red pill is the people who want to operate in reality. And that's the question now that you can choose. Are you wanting to start influencing people with your opportunity? The thing that you've got in your pocket can change the game. Steven Crowder has also built a brand very similar, in a way, from the ground up, just getting on camera, talking about political things, and now his streams of debates get a crazy amount, almost just as much as the debate itself. And it is crazy just how many on a live stream side channel, what he can, the audience he can pull, and the influence that Steven Crowder has been able to have. He built this brand from scratch. And the reality is, with his crew, his whole crew, Louder with Crowder crew, they are taking a huge crack at legacy media. He's basically what would replace the political commentators of, like, the evening political commentators like Stephen Colbert and others, in the conservative vein, and his numbers are way bigger than those guys. And so the reality is we have the opportunities here to totally transform the political landscape if every conservative pulls out their phones and starts to actually learn the techniques that makes this happen. Wait, am I just these guys? Oh, these are just, a few crazy examples. No, let me show you some few more. Dan Bongino. Okay, well, you say, well, hold on a second. Dan Bongino started on Fox News. That's where he got most of his fame. Yes, of course. But guess what he did? He chose to leave Fox News, and he actually went to his own platform. No, he was not fired. He's expressed this many, many times. If you listen to him, he went to his own show and wanted to build a brand independently from the ground up, and went over to Rumble. Actually started on YouTube and Rumble, and realized that YouTube kept trying to delete him, and eventually banned him for life. And so now he went full on with a contract with Rumble, and now look at this, 3.29 million followers. And Dan Bongino's last stream 12 hours ago now has 881,000 views. And on his live stream regularly, on the day of, on live, concurrent viewers, 160,000 daily. That is crazy. Guess what? You have all the same tools that Dan Bongino has. You do, right now, in your pocket. You really do. Well, no, he's got this special microphone and special camera. $150 off Amazon. Could be less. I started off with a $50 microphone. You don't even need these, actually. I actually now have. Let me go to my other shot here so you can see these. I actually now have just small ones that connect right to your phone. Here's the mic. See if I can get it in the shot for you. Okay, there's a mic. It's really tiny. It fits right on your collar. It goes right to your phone. You just put the app on, click record, gives you high quality sound right to your phone. Boom. You have your phones. You might not know this. I'm using my phone right now. It's originally the phone itself takes up to 8K, 8,000 pixels per square inch. That per the screen. That is higher. That's as high as a Hollywood video in terms of depth, or in terms of the size of the quality of the video itself. Now the lens makes a difference on what quality it is, but what you're looking at right now is using my cell phone on a tripod in my room, with a microphone, with a AI generated background, just to cover my messy room right now, talking to you about why you should do this. This is the reality in which we live. Every single person now doesn't even need this. You can just go right from your phone and record information, talk about things that matter, talk about what's happening in your community, bring people on, have them. You've already know how to do this since COVID. Everybody knows how to bring people on and click record on the Zoom call, right? Get in a good lighting situation, clean off your lens, make sure it's nice and clean, click record, and now you've got a podcast. You just get somebody on the other side of the call and record the conversation. And then you post it on YouTube as is. You could just post the long form to get started. And then eventually you can either take some time to cut it up, or you can have someone cut it up for you to make them into shorts. So you can put that around as content. You'd be surprised, out of a 60-minute conversation, you'd actually get quite a number of clips. You could have at least 10, usually closer to 20 or 30, depending on how good, just how the conversation flows. And so you have, let's say, 20 to 30 pieces of content right there from a 1 hour of conversation that you can post that influence people about the things you're talking about. Because guess what? If you're not aware of this, social media, like even Facebook, it actually wants you to share things. They need you to actually share content, and they need you to create content. And so they're excited about anybody creating content. The thing is, you have to learn how to work within their rules. And sometimes they have stupid rules. Facebook has horrible rules. But guess what? We can work around that, because number one, the more people that get involved, the harder it is for you to be censored, because the virality is actually quite strong. It's very difficult to get that off before it's seen and shared. But secondly, the ability to actually create content, they want conservatives because they know it's going to generate some hubbub between the parties. Now, there's going to be opportunities where you're going to need to make sure you're on other platforms, because there will be moments where you will be censored because you want to talk about things that the companies who own these larger platforms do not want you talking about it. So you are going to have a presence on multiple profiles here, and that is what I can help you with. This is what they have been able to do. Tim Pool. This is what I'm trying to do. This is what I'm using, the very techniques that all these guys have done. I'm just, late to the game here, so I'm getting started. I don't have nearly the audience that these guys have. But guess what? I'm influencing people daily. I have people coming up to me who I've never seen before, or that I've never seen interact with my posts, and say the things I'm sharing really are great things, and I keep it up, and I really appreciate the perspective you bring to the situation. And I don't hear about this from anybody else. I had one of my friends I grew up with say, the content you put out there and that I seem to see for whatever reason, I don't get from anybody I know. Nobody, and he was living in a more very liberal area in the DC area, and nobody talks about this type of thing. Well, guess what? He was getting it from the content I was resharing just on Facebook and on LinkedIn. You'd be surprised just the kind of impact that you can have as you engage the world in which you are. You bring your situation, you share things of value. These guys are already getting the big top stuff. Tim Pool, on his podcast, he literally just takes news stories of what's going around and talks about the news and invites guests to comment on it. That's what he's doing. Guess what? You can do that. I can go right now to the articles, same articles Tim Pool will use tonight on his show, or actually he already streamed tonight. He streams at 7 o'clock Central Time, live every weekday. and he pulls up media articles and discusses the things that, of course, the leftist media probably leaves out in most of their articles. And sometimes they cover, but they bury the lead. It's way in the bottom, and they don't want people to see exactly what the truth is. And so he reads from all different sources, and so does Dan Bongino. If you've ever watched his show, Dan Bongino on Rumble here, Dan Bongino does the same thing. He takes the articles that people leftists put out there in their own words, and they try to gaslight you in saying that they're not saying stuff, but they actually are. So this is the reality we are now living in. We are not hogtied to stay within the channels that people want you to, and the topics people want you to talk about and want to see, that MSNBC, Fox News, CBS, ABC are putting out. They are dinosaurs. The amount of content that's being viewed is infinitely greater now than legacy media, even with their what they have, the Nielsen ratings, which tries to estimate, by the way, it's not actual data, it's estimating the kind of viewership you get. You don't estimate on here. Someone is viewing something. Okay, it is an actual representation, a live representation of someone, and you get direct feedback. You can't get that on TV. You get direct feedback from your audience and a comment and or reshare. And so you have direct information to touch specific audiences, and the more you do, the better at branding you are, the better at leveraging the moment, the things that are viral in the moment, the things that people need to hear about that aren't being censored. And if you frame it that way, it will gain traction. If you've developed an audience that cares about that, you will break through. And I'm having great with as early of a following as I'm doing. I'm building quite a substantial brand that is impacting people on a daily basis. I'll take you over to my LinkedIn just to show you where I'm at. I'm at the early stage of my brand building process. Don't claim to be an expert. I'm telling you what the experts say, what the people who are already doing this are doing, that are making the difference, that are actually undercutting legacy media's lies. So here's my LinkedIn, and you can see I've got right here, scroll down a little bit here. I've got 65 right there, 6,570 followers, and that's not bad for me. It's actually getting quite up there. And my view count, where these are how many times my content has been viewed by an account. It's what an impression basically is, how many times it got shown in a feed. Over 62,000 people just in the last week saw something that I posted. You can do the same thing too. And it really isn't that hard. I should say it's hard, but it's not difficult. Once you learn the skills, it's actually not difficult. It's just hard to stay consistent and to know what your particular niche that you want to talk about and where your particular audience lands. And so this is a process for everybody, is discovering, okay, when I want to talk about these things, where's that audience? Who is it that needs to hear that? You'll see if I even go to my analytics here on LinkedIn, and I show you over the past years. If it shows it to me, sometimes it has a little glitch when I try to do it. There we go. Over the past year, my biggest post right here had 25,000 impressions by itself. Just one post, one time, talking about the Second Amendment and how the Second Amendment is, every firearm is actually a tool first and foremost. It's the choice of the operators that turns the tool into something dangerous. And if their skill sets, it's their skill sets and their choosing of wisdom to use the tool, just like a firearm, is what makes it dangerous. And so it's not the thing, that the weapon itself or a firearm, that's actually morally a problem. It's the people who use it, and that's the whole point. And so this was a little graphic here, a little meme here, talking about how back in the day schools had gun clubs, and some still do, and very few people ever got shot. This is kind of a generalization, but almost nobody in comparison, especially with the prevalence of what we see today. And the gun legislation we see today, it's incredible just how many people that one post just got that many impressions. That's how many times it was viewed on someone's account, how many times it appeared in someone's feed when they're scrolling through one of their profiles. You can do this too. This is how we take back Legacy, the control from legacy media, even on LinkedIn, one of the more liberal sites that doesn't want you talking about politics and religion. Guess what I talk about? Politics and religion. Why do I do that? Because I want to work and help conservatives take back America. And the only way, in my opinion, I believe every single one of our founding fathers were conservatives, and they were particularly faith-based conservatives. Most of them believed that God was Lord, that Jesus was Lord, and that we were accountable to him when we die, and that all of our laws need to be alignment to the scriptures. And I can show you those if you'd like. I'm going to be posting about that much more prevalently. And so this is the reality we have as conservatives. We do not have to take it in the teeth ever again by legacy media. We can build a brand that actually builds back America, builds back better, right? That makes America great again. And then and if you're a Christian, makes America Christian again, that spreads the values of Christianity and the truths of Christianity that are timeless, that are literally the moral fabric of the universe, and how God has actually designed the universe to function. And this is what I offer. This is what I'm going to help you as a conservative. Take back this. There are techniques and tools that I'm picking up from these guys, from Dan Bongino and all these other people, that I'm doing professionally, and I'm helping people who are conservatives who want to stand in the midst of doing business. They want to stand for conservative values, and they want to do business with people who also care about those things as well. And they want to make that as a conservative brand in their business. And they want people who are on their side, who are going to help them in that marketing task, creating content that both influences people to know who they are, where they are, what they offer, and why is it, what are the core things that their brand stands for that helps make America great again. That's the goal that I would love to help people do. And if that's someone you're interested in learning more, let's have a conversation. Let's talk.